Welcome to this video. In this video, we'll discuss how to create Outlook templates and newsletters. Outlook templates are widely used in communication and marketing. They provide an easy way to send messages or make announcements about events or topics. For example, if a manager wants to inform his employees about something new in the company, Outlook is an excellent communication tool. He could create an Outlook template with appealing visuals and design and send it to his team to update them about the company's news, new offices, events, etc. If your company is hosting an event and wants to invite people or clients, Outlook is the best way to do so. You can design a nice template in Outlook, personalize it, and send it out. In this video, I will cover how to create and test these templates. In Outlook, you can even create them in HTML, upload them to a server, and use them as HTML templates, and vice versa. You can create them as HTML and upload them to Outlook and use them as Outlook templates. However, creating newsletters can be tricky due to the numerous mailing servers around like Outlook, Gmail, Web, etc. All these servers use a mailing engine which is very limited in terms of HTML coding due to security issues. You can't use JavaScript for interaction inside the template or real CSS for styling. You can only use inline style. This is just a bit of technical background on Outlook templates. What we can use in the template are HTML tables, which are very limited in Outlook and not as flexible as you might think, but they are good because they are responsive and look good on all mailing servers. I have worked a lot on newsletters and I think I'm familiar with all newsletters issues, but in this video, I'm going to talk specifically about Outlook and Word because they have the same HTML engine in the background. Everything I do in this video will be applicable in Word as well. This video is for anyone working in marketing or internal communication, freelancers who want to expand their experience or market their skills. You can learn how to create these templates and save some money instead of paying providers like MailChimp for templates. This is the easiest and cheapest way to create nice looking newsletters. It's also interesting for anyone who uses Outlook for communication, as you might find some useful information if you want to learn how to use Outlook. We are going to talk about working with text and pictures, the limitations inside Outlook, and what you should or shouldn't use. As you see on my screen, I have two windows. The left one is an empty Outlook mail, and on the right one is Illustrator, and I designed a template to develop in Outlook. So we will use this design in Outlook and we'll try to learn how to build such a template inside Outlook. So it's going to be more or less learning by doing. So I'm just going to make the template or the design bigger just to make you see it better. So this is the design. I'm just going to zoom in. You can see on the top we have a banner, and then we have a headline, then a text, intro text to the newsletter. Then we have the signature of the manager, of the person, the writer who wrote the template or who is sending this template. Then we have some nice elements, design elements or deco elements under the intro section. And then we have here another section with an image on the left, text on the right, and a link. Then we have here on the bottom, meet the team, just some images of the team. And then at the bottom, we have the footer of the newsletter. So I'm just gonna stop or zoom out and go back to Outlook. So I'm just gonna bring Outlook. So here we have Outlook. I just clicked on new email. So by clicking on new email, I just created a new email. This is what you see on the screen now. Let's start with let's start with saving. So saving is the most important thing when you work with Outlook templates because it works a bit different than other programs. So if I work in Illustrator, I just need to press Control S and it's gonna save. So you see it's saved, or I just gonna go to File and click on Save. So it's now gray because I saved the file, but in Outlook, if I go to save and click on save, it's not gonna save it in as usually in some folder. It's gonna save it in the drafts folder in Outlook. So it's gonna save it in this folder on the left side. As you see, we have sent items, we have inbox, and drafts. This is where it saves if I click on save as. Now, this is one way of saving. I'm just gonna show you. I'm just gonna write some dummy text like test and test, and I'm just gonna click now on, or you can use this one, save, Control S, or this one, or going to file and click on save. So I'm just gonna click on this one. This is the easiest way. So we saved now. So I'm just gonna send it to, or to test at test.com. So I'm just gonna save again because I can't see it in the drafts folder. This is like one of the weirdest things. So in general, I think you got the idea. In general, if you save, if your Outlook crash, then just go back to the drafts folder and then you will find it there. The right and the best way to save Outlook templates is to go to File and to click on Save. So save is gonna open a message. So it's gonna give you this MSG form, which is not the right one because it's gonna save your ID inside the email template, and if you are gonna send it to someone else, it might not work properly. So what's the best way to save? The best way is to go to this menu and you choose Outlook template .oft. So this is the right form that you want to use. But when you click on it, so let's click on it, it's gonna jump to this folder. So it's gonna go to your user account, Microsoft templates, and it's gonna try to save it there. So this is not an easy to find place. You need to go somewhere else where you can find it easily, or to your project folder and save it there. In my case, I'm gonna go to some projects folder and I'm gonna save it, for example, in layout. So this is the right way to save it. So I'm just gonna try to find it now to see if it's saved correctly. So going to the project folder, layout. So now you can see this is what I saved. So this is the right way. And you have to do it whenever you do any change in the mail. So in case now I went back, to my template and I added some text again, this means that, and I click on save, it's not gonna save to the file that I saved already, like 1 minute ago. It's gonna save again to the drafts folder. So you need to go again to File, Save As, and choose Outlook. This one, go to the menu again and choose OFT, and again it's gonna jump to the Microsoft templates folder. You need to go back and save it again to this file. So whenever you do a change, you need to re-save it as an OFT file. So that was all about saving OFT template. You can also save it as an HTML file and use it. So you can go here and you can choose HTML, and after saving it as an HTML, it's going to be usable as an HTML file. There might be some issues inside the code, some code that's not usable inside the code. You need a text editor like Visual Studio Code. You need to open it and clean it and check if there is any mistake inside the template. So that was about saving it as an HTML. Now let's move to create the template. Let's clear these fields. So first we need to create, we need two tables. So first we are gonna go to insert, and in insert we need to go and create one table. So this is gonna be our first table. This is gonna serve as the body of the email template, and we need to go to then we need to go to borders because we don't need borders. We are gonna give it a background. I'm just gonna give it some gray background. I'm gonna use this one, or I'm just gonna use a lighter one, this one. And then we need to go, so whenever we want to work with tables, we need to consider these two tabs: table design and layout. Table design is controlling the colors in the table and the borders. So if you need to change the border color, the background of the cell, you need always to go to table design. And layout is going to be responsible for resizing and spacing, removing elements in the table, rows, cells. So first, after adding a table, removing the borders, we need to go to layout, properties, and then we need to give it a width. The width of this table is going to be 100%. Click OK. I forgot to mention something. We need always to activate view guidelines. So without the guidelines, it's really hard to work inside the newsletter, because you don't see where your table starts or where it ends. So it's better to activate always the view grid lines. And there is also something, this plus icon here is always helping you to select the whole table, and this square at the bottom, it helps you to resize the table. So now after we give it full width and we give it background, we need to give it some spacing. And spacing inside, if you're familiar with web development, it's called padding, and we need to give it some spacing inside the table. And to do that, we need to go to cell. So in cell, we use options, this button at the bottom right of the cell window, and then we will see cell options, cell margins. So we need to deactivate, same as the whole table. And then we need to add 2 to all sides of the template. So we are having like 2 millimeters left, right, bottom, top. So and now you might ask why we need these 2 millimeters. So because if we remove these 2 millimeters, we are not, the background of the element is going to be weird when you preview the template. It's going to be just bottom and top, and it's going to look a bit weird. So it's better to have it, to have also on the left and on the right side of the template. Now we added the first table. Now we need to add the second table. So we go again to insert, and we insert table. Now we go again to insert, we insert table. We need just one cell. So I'm gonna use the again table design to remove the borders, because we don't need the borders. And I'm gonna go to again to layout to resize the table. This table is gonna be, we need to go to table tab. This table is gonna be 21.1 centimeters. So this table is gonna be 21.1 centimeters. So I'm using a different value, so I'm gonna use a comma. So I think it wasn't right, because it took it as a percent. We need centimeters. So now we have 21.1 centimeters, which is going to be around 800 pixels. I'm just going to select it again. I'm going to center it. So to center this table, we need to go to properties and then table, and then we click on center. So okay, and now it's centered. So this is the basic structure of, or this is the basic template that you always need to create when you work or when you want to create a template. These are like must two tables. Now after creating the template, we need to adjust the margin inside the cell. So again, remove, make it adjustable by, again, remove this same as the whole table and adjust it to 0, 0, 0. And this cell is going to be for the banner. But before we move to the banner, I need to talk about something else. We need to go to options, and we need to go to options tab, and in options tab we have theme. So if your company has like visual identity or have a PowerPoint presentation with the color scheme of the company, you can go to PowerPoint, save the color scheme, and then upload it inside Outlook. You can see these are the default schemes. I'm not gonna upload anything because we're gonna just do it the hard way. We're gonna add colors, but if you want, you can do it instead of searching and copy pasting the colors. This is gonna be very useful. So now you see there is some space here, white space on the top and white space, a lot of white space on the bottom of the template. So how we can cover this white space? So there is, under options, there is beige color, but it's gray now. So we need to click somewhere to activate it. Then we give the whole page now a color. Now you can see it's all gray. The whole background is gray, so we can see it looks now much better. And now we have both tables. So now we need to start now adding elements to the template. Now, after creating the body table and the main table for the content, now we are ready to start adding content to the template. The first thing that we are going to add is the banner of the template. So I'm going to go to Illustrator now. I'm going to mark it and I'm going to export the banner. So I'm just gonna go export. I'm just gonna export the. So I'm just gonna export the image from Illustrator. It's better to use JPEG files because they are smaller than PNGs or SVG images or vector graphics. So we exported the image. Now we are gonna add the image to the cell. So we need to go to insert image. We're gonna choose this device. So a window is gonna be open. So I'm just gonna search the folder to find the image. This is the image. So it's now around 28 centimeters. We need to resize it to 21. Then we are gonna add one more. I forgot to mention that we need to give this table a color of white. So our table now is white. Now we need another or other cells for the content. So I'm just gonna go again to layout, then insert below. With insert below, we are gonna add new rows to the template. So I'm gonna highlight them all and go to properties. I'm just gonna add a left and right margin. Again, going to properties, cell, options, and then I'm gonna give it left and right 1 centimeter, which is gonna be around 35, 36, 7, I'm not sure, I think 35 pixels. And I'm gonna give it half centimeter top and bottom. So now we have spacing, we have cells, we can start adding content. But so let's start with the headline. This is the headline. I'm gonna do copy and paste. So we have now the headline. It's just text. Let's stop and talk a little bit about the fonts. So the fonts, as I mentioned already, newsletters or OFTs are just HTML. So when you use your own company font, it might not work because the other part or the person who you are going to send the template to might not have the same font installed on his device. So it's better to use system fonts to make sure that the template looks always the same on all devices. So I use always Arial, which is a system font, and it's stable on all devices. So how we are going to define the fonts, we are going to go to options, fonts, and now we can here go to customize fonts, and we can choose Arial. So we have Arial, and then we can use for body text again Arial, the same font. And now we press on save. So after we saved, if we go to the format text, you can see we have Arial as the font of the template, and it's the same that I used in my design. You can see if we go to character, it's the same font. So now I'm gonna make my text bigger. So I'm gonna go here to see how big it's 29. I think I'm gonna make it around 20 and I'm gonna make it bold. I think it's too much. I think 20 is more than enough. Now we need the color. So this is the color that I used in the template, so I'm just gonna copy it, go to the text, the color, and more colors, custom, and I'm gonna add the color. So now you can see it's the same color as in our design. Now I'm gonna copy the text and add it to the template. I know usually you can do copy paste directly, especially text from Illustrator to Outlook, because they have different engines. Sometimes I just go to browser, do copy paste there, and then come back with my text and paste in So you can see now it took the same style like the text, like the headline. So we need to change it. We need to mark all text, to select all text, and then we need to adjust the text size. I think 11, it's the standard font. I think 11 is the standard font size in all in every Outlook mail. So now we make it 11. Now we need to make it not bold, so to unbold it, and then we need to make it black. So you can see now it's black. There are two ways to achieve spacing among paragraphs. So there is the easy way to do just a tap between the paragraphs and to press enter, and you will have an empty line between them, and this might be the easiest solution. You can see it's a bit bigger here because the font size is 20, and here it's acceptable because it's the font size is 11. So this is the easiest way. The second way, and the best way that I like always to use, we go, you see we have format text tab on top, and then we have names on the bottom. So clipboard, format, font, paragraph, style, zoom. You need to remember them all, so to know where to go if you need something. So I'm just gonna click on this small arrow pointing down, and we are gonna have the paragraph, and I'm gonna add 12 point after each paragraph. So you need always, there are some options here before and after. One of them, if I click, it is auto. So this is going to generate a lot of space. Better not to use it. It's not recommended. Always 0 or give it some value. And line spacing, it's good always to use single, but if you want to achieve good spacing in a headline, you can go and use other options. The different use cases, I will explain later what are the different cases or when I need to use other options. So now, as you see, now we have it automatically. So if I'm gonna click now on the bottom, it's gonna add the same, but it's still, or if I just gonna click, copy some other text, add other text, you can see it's still the same spacing, which is a bit an easy, clean way to add spacing between paragraphs. So this is spacing, as I mentioned, two ways: just pressing enter after each paragraph, or adding it using the paragraph options and add spacing after and before each paragraph. That's it about the spacing between paragraphs. Now let's add the image. So before we move to the image, something very, very important. If you want to stay in the same paragraph, you have to press Shift Enter. You're gonna be inside the same paragraph. If you want to start a new paragraph, you press just Enter. So Shift Enter, same paragraph, Enter, new paragraph. Now we need to add these elements. So now we need to add the image of the person who is going to send, or this element in the design. And for this element, we need a new table. So in order to make it a bit more flexible, you need always to add more tables. So we are going to add two tables. We are going to add two cells, a table with two columns. The first column is going to be for the image. The second column is going to be for the name and the text. So I'm just going to remove the borders now. No border, and I did copy already, so I'm just going to add the image. It's adding the text, so let me go again, do copy. And now you see we have an image, but it's a graphics format. They tend to cause problems, so I wouldn't advise you to use them. After copy paste it, I'm just gonna cut it and paste, right mouse click, paste as an image. So now we have an image. Images are safe to use in email templates. You can see the image have some spacing under it because of the paragraph spacing. we can always go to format text and remove the spacing if we don't need it. And there is another way to remove the spacing. So if I'm gonna go back one step to the spacing, there is inside the styles, there is a style called no spacing. So you can highlight the image and go to no spacing. You can see the spacing now is not there. We removed it with no spacing style. It's a bit more advanced to work with styles. We'll explain them in the future, but now you can use them as a quick solution to remove the spacing under or before the element. Now we need to add the text. So it's just 2 words. I can type it myself. Name and title. It's aligned to the middle of the left element. It's centered. So now we need to go to layout and to the alignment tab. In the alignment tab, we can change the alignment of elements, and you see it's now top left aligned, and now we can make it aligned center left. So clicking on center left is going to make it aligned to center left, and now we need to make the name bold as in the design. And as you can see, now we have the first part of the newsletter template. So we build it inside Outlook. You can see we have here more spacing. So I think there is a tab. So removing it, it's gonna make it look good. We can always turn off the grid lines to see how it looks. It looks good. So, and then turn them on to continue working. Now we need to go to the other section. So for each section we need a row. This is called a row. So now this section has a background. So the background of this section, we need to get it from Illustrator. We highlight the element, we go to the color picker, and then we pick it up from there, copy, and then go to table design as usual, shading, and then more colors, and then we add the new color. Click OK, it's there now. So what's our first element? So the first element is gonna be this title. I'm gonna do copy paste. So it's not working. So I'm gonna try to paste it in Google and come back, paste it here. So this is the headline. I'm gonna highlight it. So now we have a headline and we need to make it the same like this one, but how? And we want to make it very easy without doing a lot of work. We go to the brush. It's the format painter in Outlook. We click on it, and now it's picking it from this area, and we go to this text and highlight it, and you can see now it's there. Again, you see the spacing applied with the format painter, so it has now 12 pixels after the element, after the paragraph. So what we need now, we need some dummy text under it. As in the design, we will pick up this text as dummy text, and we are gonna add it under it. Now we press enter again. We have spacing. So we need now to build these 4 cards. So how we are going to build these 4 cards? So there are some shapes in Outlook, and this is the easiest way that you might think of. Okay, I'm just gonna create 4 shapes and align them, and then that's it. But this is not gonna work in Outlook. Shapes are not allowed because they cause problems. They will make the template not responsive. So it's better to use tables. Always use tables. So we have a table with 4 columns, 4 cards. So I'm going to add 4 columns. So I'm going to highlight it, go to table design and remove the border. No border. And then we need to go to the shading and give it a color. So the color now is appearing in the theme colors, so in recent colors. So you can see we have now 4 columns. But how we can achieve this line or divide them? So to divide them, we need to add borders between them. So first we need to give the border a color that matches the background. So this is the light gray, and then we go give it some weight, 3 points. Then we go to the borders. In borders tab we add inside vertical borders. So we have now some divider. We have now divider between the 4 cards. So we need now to insert, or we need to give some spacing. So spacing, we will give it now I think 3 millimeters. So now we have some spacing. We can start adding text, or we can pick up this. We can pick up any dummy text and add it to it. Now we need to give the text a color, so we will give it white color. Maybe make it a little smaller. Now we need to add the icons. So the icons, we can do it like we did with image. We can go to the icons, copy and paste them. I think you need first to do just copy paste, just to copy, Control V to paste. So now it's there, the icon. We have the icon, but we need to copy it again and paste it as an image. So now we go to the other one. Again, cut and paste as an image. But now if we want to align them in the middle to make the icon, so we go to the text, the format text tab, and we make it center. But here be careful, you can't go to the layout and make the alignment middle because it's going to make the text also centered. We need just to make the icons centered. I'm gonna do the same with other icons, or I'm just gonna do copy paste this one. It's not necessary. So you can see the spacing on the top and the bottom of the section is a bit bigger than in our newsletter. We are going to add some more spacing. We need to go to layout, properties, and add some spacing. It's half centimeter now, so we need to add 1. And now it looks better. Now let's move to this section. We have a title, an image with a text on the right side of the image. So how we can achieve this kind of layout. So I'm gonna click inside this. I'm just gonna copy the title, the first one. This is how I do it always. I copy the other title, and if I want to change it, or I just need the style, so I can type or do another copy paste. And in this case, I have the style copied from the other element, new title. Or let's use the same one. So paste. And now we have spacing under it. We need to add, as usual, a new table. So a new table with 2 columns. One column is going to be for the image. The other one is going to be for the other one is going to be for the text. So I'm just going to copy the element, paste, or sorry, before doing copy paste, we need to stylize, we need to do some styling. Before copying the other element, we need to style our template. We need to remove the border and to adjust the spacing. So first, no borders. Then we need to go to layout, properties, and then options. We need to remove this option, same as the whole table, and we need to make the left side 0, the right side 4 millimeters. So okay, after doing it, now we have we can add the element. So I'm gonna do now paste. Now we have this element, but it's a graphics format, so I need to change it to image, copy again, or cut, paste as an image. So we have now our image element on the left side. I'm just gonna copy some dummy text from the template and add it. You can see we have also spacing on the left side because I added 4 millimeters on the right side of the image, so it's now working good. We can again turn off the view grid lines and see how it looks like. You can see I made a mistake because the background, or this element, has a background similar to the background of the template. So I have 2 options: either to change the background of the template, or I can change the background of the element of this element. I think it's easier to change the background of this element to another gray color. So I'm gonna use this gray color. It's lighter. I think it looks better than the other one. So we added now the image, the text. Still we need the button. So how we are gonna add the button? So to add buttons in Outlook, there are 2 options. One option is to create a table, write text in it, and link the text to a link to an email or to another website or to whatever you want. But the whole button is not gonna clickable, just the text inside the button is gonna clickable. The other solution is to create the buttons as an image, and then you do copy paste, insert the images, and then you link them, and it's going to be clickable as a button in a normal website. But in this option, the text is not going to be clickable like in this option the text is not going to be editable. So if you send it to someone who doesn't have the source file of the button, he's not going to be able to change the text in future. He always needs to send you the template back and to ask you to change the text inside the button and send it back to him. So to make it easy and editable, I prefer always to use tables. There is another plus point for the image buttons, or there is another side, or there is something better when we use image buttons. We can add more effects like gradients. We can add some. We can make them round as images, but as tables we can't make the corners of the button round. So I'm gonna create the link now as a table. So this is the first option, or the easiest option, or my preferred one. Again, go to insert table. I'm gonna just add one cell table. I'm gonna adjust it and make it smaller. I'm gonna type the text. It's just read more. We don't need the borders. We need background. We need to make the text white, and then bold. Then we go to layout, center text. You see we centered the text in the middle of the table, but it's not working because text has spacing, or the paragraph has some spacing after it. So it's better to remove it. But now our button is very small. So how we can adjust it? We need to go to spacing. Like most of the options that I'm talking about in the top menu, you can use them. You can use them with the right mouse click. So now if we click, you can see the table properties is there. You can insert, delete table cell. So now we need table properties. We go to cell, and then we change the spacing a little bit. We add 2 on the left, 2 on the right, 2 on the top, and 2 on the bottom. So we click OK. Now we have kind of better looking button, but we need to adjust it again because I think 2 is a bit of too much, top and bottom, so we need to adjust it again. I'm gonna reduce it to 1 and see how does it look like. It looks better, so we're gonna leave it this way. Now how we insert the link. So to insert a link, we need to highlight the text that we want to link, right mouse click, then we go to link. And then we have existing web page, place in the document. I will talk about this later. But now let's talk about inserting just a link, or create a new document, or an email address. Mostly you will use these 3 options. Mostly we use web page, place in the document, or email address. Now let us try to link it to Google. Now you see the color of the link now has changed. But why the color now is different? Because there is a default style inside any mail template. You can find it in options, and then you go to colors and then customize colors, and then you see that there is always or there is a hyperlink color. So if we change this color to something else, save, you can see it's different now. It's orange. So this is the default color for all links in templates. I'm just gonna make it back blue. You can customize the color of the you can customize the hyperlink color, and it's gonna stay the same. You can see. And why it's underlined? It's underlined because of user experience. You want to tell the people that there is something different here. You can click, and especially in text, like in body text. So you want, like, if I want to link this place, if it's not highlighted or if it's not underlined, how I would know that this is a link? So this is just a way of telling people that this is something different. This is clickable. So I'm just going to remove the underline, and that's it about hyperlinks. There is also in styles here, there is kind of style for hyperlinks. So if I'm going to click inside the hyperlink, you will see there is a style for hyperlinks. So I can click on this style for hyperlinks and then modify. And then I can make it, I can change the color, remove this style option, the underline, make it bold, do whatever I want. This is another option for hyperlinks, instead of going to options and changing the color of hyperlink there. This is more powerful and has more options if you want to customize links, or if you want to customize hyperlinks. And there is another type of links which is called Smartlinks. We can't see it here because we need a smart link. And a smart link, if you add, and smart links means that something inside of Microsoft Word. So if you are adding a link from OneDrive, if you are adding a link from SharePoint, it's not going to be a hyperlink, it's going to be a smart link. So these smart links has also a smart link style in this area. It's not active now, so that's why we can't see it, but we can see it if we go to style pane option. We can use all styles, and I can show you where it is. So you can see this is the smart link. And so if you have smart links that you can change, because you can change them in the template, but after you save and you reopen the template, it's gonna be always the same as the smart link paragraph style. So you need always to come here and to change it to the style that you want. Yeah, so this is how you edit smart links and hyperlinks. There is also something, the last thing about smart links is that there is always a background. Smart links have always background. So how we remove this background? After we opened the modify pane, we can go to format, and then we can go to border, and then we go to shading, and this is the background. We just remove this background. You can see now after removing it, there is no background color to the smart links. And this is the only way to edit smart links. So now we are done with links and smart links. I need to add, now we need a new section for the team. So I'm just gonna click anywhere, or we need again to highlight to view the grid line. You can see after viewing the grid line, we see that I committed a mistake because I added more space. Now I removed the space, but as you can see, I can't click under the table. And this is one of the problems in Outlook. Sometimes you can't click under a table. So how I can solve this problem? You can see the mouse cursor is on the right side. And if I'm gonna press enter, it's gonna create a new row in the same table, which I don't want to do. So I'm gonna go back and I'm just gonna click on the space, and I'm just gonna try to click on space bar. So clicking on space is gonna bring us out of this table. It's gonna get us, pressing on space is gonna get us out of this table and is gonna bring us back to the main table. So after we are in the main table, I can click now on the insert below. You can see now we have a new section. I still need one, so I created now two sections. We can see I have now some free space, and I need to add a background color to the new section to see how it looks like after adding the background. So again, going back to table design, shading, and adding background color. You can see we have we have less spacing inside this section, so I'm gonna add more spacing. Again, we go to layout, properties, and add more spacing. I'm gonna add 1 centimeter. So it's there. And again, we need a new title. So I'm just gonna do copy paste and then delete and write meet the team. So we have now, as you see on the right side, we have 5 team members. So how we are going to create them? As usual, we always need a table. And now we need a table with 5 columns. So I'm going to go to insert, table, 5 columns. So this is our table. As usual, we need to remove the borders. We go to table design, no border. So this is our table. So after inserting the table and having the table, we need to add the pictures of the members. So first we need to do copy paste from Illustrator. You can see we have the element. We can do cut, paste, and this is the image. It has some spacing, it's okay. Then we can write name and title. So these we can again go to somewhere else and pick up the style from that place and paste it here. So now we have 2 names. We need to center them, text, center. So, and we need to make the name bold. So now that's it. Do copy paste. It's not copying, it's not doing keep source formatting. So we need to make them all text center. And you can see now it's very easy. It's just copy paste. And then you can change the image, click the right mouse click and change the image, search for another image, because now you have the style, you have the alignment, you have everything you need. You can just press on it and change the image and search for the team member that you want to add and add the team member that you want to add. So now we created the team member section. Now we need to create the footer. So how we created, we have a small menu on the bottom. So we need, as usual, to create a new table. We have 4 columns. So we need a table with 4 columns. So table, 4 columns. It's not taking the whole width, so I need to make it smaller. I'm just gonna change the text formatting from 20 to 10. Go to table design, remove the border, and then we need to add the text to each cell. So now we added the text to this menu, which you see in most newsletters. What we need to do now, we need to center the table. We go to layout, properties, and then we go to table, and then we center the table. So now our table is centered. Now we need to make sure that all columns have the same width. So we go to distribute columns. They have all the same width. Now we make the text centered. I think our text has some spacing. We need to remove the spacing. This is good. Now we need to make it black, not green, and then we need to add a divider. As usual, we go to table design, and then we choose the color that we want to add. Then we pick up a size, and then we make it between. So now we have, as you see, we have the same menu on the left side and the right side. I think it's bold here. Maybe we remove bold, so now it looks the same. Now we add the copyright. As you see, when I click, I can't click under the table. My mouse cursor is on the right table, as we saw already. So I need to press the space. So now we are under the table. So I'm just gonna pick up some dummy text as a copyright and add it to the footer. And the footer is usually centered or has smaller text size. So we need more space, you can see. Yeah, now it looks much better. We need at the bottom a bit of more spacing. So I'm just gonna go to properties, cell, options. Something good to mention about options, properties and options. There is in table tab, there is an option tab, but if you are going to change it, it's going to change the whole table. So it's better not to use it. So use always the cell options to achieve spacing within the cell, within the row. So that was our template. we created it from zero. We talked about how to add sections, to add images, to work with them, and how you can create cards, how you can add images, about some of the limitations of Outlook. I think what we forgot, or what we need to talk more about, is the images. So because I haven't talked much about them, let's talk about the images. Let me just select one. Let's select this image. After selecting the image, you will see picture format, and in picture format you will see these options. These are a lot of options to work with images. So you can change the aspect ratio of images. You can crop them to shapes like this one, or you can change, as I said, the aspect ratio. You can do a lot with the cropping options. And then we have the picture border. You can add picture border, but as you see, our image now is square. It's not it's a PNG with transparency, so it's a square, it's not round. So look, I'm gonna add now border. So after adding the border, you see it's not working properly. So how to solve it? We highlight the image, we go to aspect ratio, we crop the image 1:1. It's already 1:1, but just to show you if the image is not cropped 1:1, how we do it. And then we go to crop to shape. This is the second option, and then we choose this one, oval. So, and we choose it. So you can see now the border is applied to the circle, to the image. You can even change the color of the image. You can, as you see, you can change the color. You can do a lot of stuff. You can even achieve some transparency. You can change the brightness, the contrast of an image. You can even remove the background of an image. So you can do a lot of things. There is, I think, something else worth to mention is the wrap text with image. So this image, the safest option is always to, so if you use the right mouse click, you can see we have many options. The safest way to use an image in any template to use inline with text, but sometimes you need the image to be inside the text or interacting with the text. So you see this anchor means that the image has a different wrapping option. So you can see we can achieve with wrapping some nice positioning. It's good, but I don't recommend you to use it a lot. You can use it maybe once here or there, because sometimes it causes some problems and you can see it only when you test. So this is a way you can use the wrap text. As I said, I prefer inline with text, but sometimes you need it. At the end, always test your templates. You need always to test them using mobile phone or using Outlook in web. You need always to test your template, and you need to send it to other mailing services or service providers like Gmail or Outlook in web or Outlook on iPhone to see how it looks like there. If you work or do it the way I did it, I guarantee you that it's gonna look good and it's not gonna be that bad on other devices. I'll make another video which is a bit more advanced about Outlook and about problems in Outlook, about limitations. I think it's going to be more advanced than this one. This is just how This was just showing you how to create a good newsletter in Outlook. Now the last thing before we close or finish the video, we need always, as I mentioned already, to save it as Outlook template OFT, and go to somewhere where you can find it. Test. So I will make this template available in the description of the video. You will find the link to download it, and I will make the PDF or the design of this template as a PDF available in the description of the video. If you find this video helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel, and if you have any question just leave a comment and I will try my best to help you.